Satyaprakash ji, considering that your government has gone to town about Mohabbat ki dukaan, that is my theme around which I am talking to you today, and that is what we as South Indians owe to each other. We are not like the North, unfortunately that's also part of my country, but the point is that when you look at sectarian violence, I think our record is slightly better. You speak about Mohabbat ki dukaan, Rahul Gandhi has spoken about it, your Chief Minister has time and again spoken about hatred, about discrimination, about giving compensation to everyone equally. Loudest voices were whenever there was, Praveen Netaru's murder, even what happened? Why did Shivamogga happen? I, as someone who has voted for you, if I lived in Karnataka, I can ask Satyaprakash ji, what happened? Why did you allow Shivamogga to happen?
So that what I would like to tell is, before thinking about Mohabbat ki dukaan, we should look at the Nafrat ki bazaar. We should look at this bazaar. Shivamogga is a hub of this communal violence for a long time. You know about Harsha murder which happened 2 or 3 years back. And this is not the first communal violence which is happening in Shivamogga. There are so many, factors in the Nafrat ki bazaar. There are communal agents on both sides, and here I am not taking any side. There are elements on both sides, on the Hindus as well as on the Muslim side, who want to open, this Nafrat ki bazaar, dukan. They want to open their shops. And here, the Congress government is not taking any sides. The difference, what Siddaramaiah will do different from what BJP or Bombay did was, we are not going to take sides of any communal elements. Nearly 40 or 48 people have been arrested. All those are arrested are from both communities, whoever has spread terror. The government is very clear that law will take its own course. Probably if some innocents are caught, that they will look at it separately. Now is the
This
time
is
we
all
have to.
hygiene that you're talking about. Law will take its own course. This is a Hindutva laboratory. It is a very sectarian violence has been there, but it's your government. And also, Satyaprakash ji, there is some problem with your audio, sir. I was wondering if you can correct it. Some audio, I think your network or something, sir. And I think we will correct it from our side. Meanwhile, S.T. Ramesh, who's the former DGP of Karnataka, has also joined us on the phone line. Mr. Ramesh, welcome to the show. Mr. Ramesh, for me, and I think you are the expert, I am not the domain expert, but for me to say, Shivamogga is already a troubled area. There has always been sectarian violence there, so on and so forth. That's why these riots happened, in which 69 people have been nabbed. So many homes have been torched. There is loss of property. There is fear. There was Section 144 doesn't wash. I just think that the ruling dispensation, if an area is particularly disturbed, should have been extra vigilant. What would you like to say about this, Mr. Ramesh?
I will, whatever information I have is what I know from the media reports. So as per media reports, there was an Idlina procession and stones were pelted. So what is the reason for stone pelting? Allegedly, there was a Tipu Sultan portrait. Now, number one, we have to make a distinction between the aggressor and the aggrieved. As a professional, I would always make a distinction between the aggressor and the aggrieved. If there is a peaceful procession and stones are pelted on it, people who pelted stones become the aggressors. And what is the reason they give for throwing stones? There was a Tipu Sultan portrait, and further, that is, I don't find anything wrong with a Tipu Sultan portrait. He was a ruler of Mysore. Secondly, somebody wrote something, Sher Tipu Sultan or something in blood. That I would call as unnecessary, totally unnecessary. Now, even if it is deemed a provocation by a certain group, what is the remedy? Stone pelting cannot be accepted as an answer. That is taking law into one's own hands. They should have gone to the police and lodged their complaint. And police was there to decide what is right, what is wrong, who has to be restrained, how much, etc., etc. It is very clear there has been a peaceful procession and stones were pelted. What precautions police could have taken? Police were present. And probably, I have no information whether preventive arrests were made. Normally, preventive arrests were made when there is a sensitive procession, and particularly in a communally sensitive place.
Yeah, so
If they-
basically, yeah, so Mr. Ramesh, no preventive arrests were made. Also, if an area is a tinder box for communal strife, I think the local administration and also the police could have been extra vigilant. As a lay person, one understands that you can't possibly look at everything in hindsight and said, oh, we could have done this. Because if, like the spokesperson for the Congress party said, Satyaprakash ji, that it is a very disturbed area, it is a disturbed area only because I'm sorry, I'm being judgmental. But there have been several incidents. We have also graphics about how many incidents have taken place in Shivamogga. But the point is that the police has perhaps was caught unawares. All I'm saying is this is the first big failure for Mr. Siddaramaiah, who's made Mohabbat ki Dukaan, peace, amity amongst community as the kernel of his politics. And that's what I'm saying. I'll come back to you. Let me now go to Madhu and Rao. Madhu and Rao, you know, I want to ask you that in when BJP was in power, it was a very, very frequent occurrence. This Shivamogga being, you know, a Hindutva laboratory. But, you know, it has been made, there is such a, you've created, I think it, such, not you, but you know, the atmosphere that has been created there has now become extremely dangerous for any little thing, and you know, it starts spreading. What do you have to say to it, Mr. Rao?
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi.
And I think I would be given the same courtesy as others with regard to putting my point of facts. Now, first of all, I just want to understand one thing. This government came, and we have seen right from the day one the incidents which have taken place during the regime of Mr. Siddaramaiah. This from May and as well as from 2013 to 18. Now, having seen this, my only question, you know, which is pondering upon me is only one thing. You know, this government can presuppose some 500 activists will create a ruckus in the city of Bangalore for the issue of Kaveri, and they could foresee such things, and they could impose 144 section a day before the incident, you know, day before the Bandh. Why was it not the same criteria to be taken into consideration for this procession in Shivamogga? Point one. Point two, am I to understand that their intelligence is so poor? Point three, or am I to understand this is a state-sponsored being quiet, so to say, let it happen, let us see what happens. What am I to understand? So therefore, somewhere I see either it's a lapse of the intelligence from the police or from the chief minister himself, because it comes under him, or the state must have told the police, be quiet, let us see what happens, simply for the reason, I don't know whether if you are well aware of the visuals what has come from Shivamogga. I have seen one of the visuals what has happened in Shivamogga, where the SP of Shivamogga, Mr. Mithun, and his police people are going on to take on the miscreants there, and they have been, you know, they have been tackled in such a way that they go for cover. I mean, this is the state of affairs in Karnataka under Siddaramaiah government. We are shocked to know this. You are telling me about, you know, Hindu versus Muslim. Fair enough. The point of issue is only so much. If the government were to know that there is a sensitive issue, and of all, I am also baffled for a fact, I have never seen a procession during Eid Milad celebrations. Fair enough, everyone have a right to do it, let them do it. But is it not at least a foreseeable thought process by the government to think that we should do some preventive detention for all other things?
Yeah, Madhu,
Let me finish just 30 seconds, madam. For all other things, you do preventive detention. And for this, you think putting up such a poster and putting up such knives which are very threatening in nature, and the police perhaps are being told, please hold on. And everyone wants to say, oh, BJP does communal politics. No, I am sorry. It is, I want to blame the Congress party and this government blatantly that either they are involved in appeasement politics to this extent, or their intelligence is very poor. Either of the things must be the fact.
Yeah, now that you've taken your 30 seconds, Mr. Rao, you make very pertinent points, but I completely, negate that it was done deliberately. Let us see what happens. It is
No,
not.
I am sorry.
No.
Either you don't know or I don't know. Let us
I
wait for
don't
the
know.
results.
Let it be.
Let
It's
us
good
see.
I do not know these things,
How is
Mr.
it
Rao.
possible? I will ask
It's
you.
very easy
if
to say
you
you
want
do
to
not
file-
know. It's better I do not
if-
know, because I'm not a
No.
politician.
No, you
I'm
please
just
ask the Congress
I'm a
party.
journalist. I'm
You-
sorry.
you please
You
ask-
cannot talk
you
like that.
please-
Please.
you
No,
please
I'm
ask
going
the
to
government.
my friend
You please
Ramesh
ask the
Sethuraman.
government.
What is
You
this?
please ask
You
the
can't
Congress
say let it
spokesperson.
happen. These are not rowdies. Ramesh Sethuraman, my whole point is that this government took over. It had a fabulous victory. It was unprecedented and it was much celebrated. But the point is, I look at it as the first big incident after Siddaramaiah took over. And as a journalist, I see it as a bit of a failure, as a bit of a blot. Not Kaveri has been going on for centuries. You know it and I know it. None of the governments, whether it was JDS, whether it was BJP, no one could solve it. So I can't say, hey, Siddaramaiah has failed. No, that's not being fair. But I'm talking about Shivamogga. They knew, like Madhu and Rao made some pertinent points. It is a very, very fertile ground for communal disturbance. What was Siddaramaiah's government thinking? That everyone is going to kind of, just be there, hold each other's hand and, put sweets in each other's mouths? That is very naive. Your comment?
Yes. So, very interesting thing when you said Shivamogga being a Hindutva lab. So, are we stereotyping or are we on one side putting the bias in people's mind? Is my question. Because so there are we have been seeing some areas being conflict zone zones, right? So this is possibly one area I would say. But having said that, how can we say that Hindutva lab? So currently, Congress that is being in power in Karnataka, and soon in months we are going to face the parliament election. Can we? Will people accept? Those who say agree or accept or use the word Hindutva lab, can we say that this being the Islamic appeasement lab or Islamic lab or whatever it is, will they accept it? So let's not stereotype it. Is my humble request. That is one. And the second thing is that okay, whatever again you are talking about, we have to control it. First and foremost thing, I agree that there should be an intelligence on the ground, and people should know that this kind of thing may erupt at particular time. Considering the sensitivity, okay. First and foremost thing, if you let's say Ganesh Chaturthi, that also recently passed in Tamil Nadu and all. In the past, there used to be a lot of issues, but past a few decades, it has been quite
Yes.
peaceful, right? But you should also understand where and how the whole thing may start. The biggest problem is that now the DMK government is in power.
Where are you
When it
going,
comes to
Ramesh?
the-
Don't take your train to Tamil
hang on.
Nadu, I say.
No, I'm not taking. No, hang on. Because there is a parallel. That is why I'm saying I'm not taking the train to Tamil Nadu. It is still in Karnataka border only. But I'm just trying to draw a parallel. I'm just trying to say. See, they have said, okay, you can't install Ganeshas in streets and all because God is not asking. And the people went to court, and their court also said there were comments that were passed by the most respected judiciary, and they said that God is not asking you to install the statue on the street. Okay, but during the other communities' festival, particularly, they also don't say the similar thing. First of all, police gives the permission. They
You
don't
have
go
to
to
please
court.
come to
And
the
if they go
point,
to court-
Ramesh. I will request
No,
you.
no.
Do you think
Yeah,
that
I'm
it is
getting the
Siddhara?
point.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
why
I
it is
have a
always
show to do.
saying-
No, you can't. Ayo, you can't possibly take so many. Please come. Are you saying, would you also concur, sir?
The appeasement politics is visible, and I think the
No, I don't agree. I will not judge it. I'm sorry. You disagreed with me. Salute to you. You have to also salute me. I'm sorry. This is not appeasement and all. It's just a failure. Mr. S.T. Ramesh, let me come to you. Considering you do not have any political kind of agenda, you are the cop, and I love cops because they just do what they see. I'm asking you, Mr. Ramesh, the thing is that, do you think it's an intelligence failure? Because how do you actually nail a government? I think it's could be an intelligent failure because they did not do any preventive, not detentions. Also, you know, they knew very well that because I have seen processions in the north, you know, during Muharram and other where it goes from a particular area. This is now a cliched kind of stereotypical situation for riots to happen. I am just asking you, Ramesh ji, do you think there could have been intelligence failure? No intel at all.
Okay. Now, I will not wade into political waters.
Great.
I will just stick to my my professional understanding
Exactly,
of the
sir.
situation
Thank
and
you.
my perspective as a professional. Now, normally, knowing that it's a communally sensitive place, Shivamogga is a powder keg, police should have thought of preventive action. What is the preventive action that is available in the armory of the police? A, preventive arrests were possible. At this point of time, I don't have any information whether preventive arrests were made or not, whether communal gundas were rounded up and put behind bars as a preventive measure or not, I don't know. If they have done it, they have done their job. And this has happened in spite of that. If they have not done it, it's a failure. They should have done it. Number two, selection of intelligence is again, we don't know what intelligence they collected, whether it was an intelligence failure. It is very generic to say it's an intelligence failure. Any law and order problem, any failure cannot be attributed to intelligence failure. Maybe there was intelligence and maybe the officer at the spot, the SP cannot be expected to be present everywhere. The officer at the spot might have failed. Might have failed to prevent stone pelting. So this is something I will reserve. I will reserve my opinion. So at this point, it's not possible to say whether this is an intelligence failure. Whether the available intelligence was used would be a relevant question.
Right. Okay.
So,
yeah.
and I don't know whether this people talk about appeasement and all that. Who gains by this kind of a violence? Who gains? I don't understand who is there to.
Yes, sir, because you are out of politics. That's why it's good, sir, that, you know, you don't understand this. Like I told him that I don't want to understand certain things. It's good that we are outside the ambit of this appeasement politics. Ultimately, this is what, Mr. Ramesh, I am also saying. I have voted, we've all voted for a new government. Let them do their duty. Let them see to it that I'm safe and secure, that I'm not scared. Section 144, apparently children could not go to school. Women could not go out and, you know, buy groceries and milk. These are the stories that we've heard from our sources, our journalists of TV9 network, is that it's terrible for the common people. They did not take out a procession. They did not laugh at some particular statue. It's for politics this is being done. That's why I'm questioning Siddaramaiah, that, you know, why is it that your government, which is newly minted, can't do what is expected? This is basic duty, sir. It's not a favor that the common citizen or a Kannadiga is asking of them. Mr. Satya Prakash, I want to ask you this, and why? Because throughout elections, you know, and also after the government had been sworn in, basically the kernel of it, the soul of this government was, we will correct all the wrongs which have been committed. So we will list it. Cow slaughter, you know, we spoke about anti-conversion, we spoke about, you know, a NEP, you know, National Education Policy, the textbook revision. Now again the textbook revision, they are sitting on it, where Hedgewar etc. was introduced. They are saying we will change it. So all that is to be undone. You agree with me? These are the points. That much I know. All I am asking. Sorry, sir.
Absolutely, we are doing that.
Yeah, you are doing all that. But the point is, your major focus was also on, you know, on seeing to it that you quell. And what Ramesh earlier said, that, you know, I'm stereotyping. I'm not stereotyping. I said allegedly called because even during the elections, there was enough focus on these areas which are prone to communal violence, right? So I'm asking you, sir, what happened? Why is it? There could have been intelligence failure. Maybe you were very, very complacent about this whole thing. I'm again saying it. I think it is Siddaramaiah's first blot on his government, which impacts the safety and security of every individual under a democracy like ours.
Sudhaji, we all need to understand one thing, okay? Whatever the BJP representative said, telling that the SP didn't do anything was far from truth. Your visuals itself showing SP, Lathi charging himself. So don't spread lies, okay? Whenever you are on mainstream media, at least don't spread lies. Okay, that's point number one. You can see the video right now in your screen. Second point, Eid Milad processions happen in all 30 or 32 districts that we have. It happened in all the 160 odd taluk places and important places. On a rough side, nearly more than, 200 or 300 processions happened. In Bangalore also it happened. All major district headquarters it happened. And only one incident, allow me please, one incident was there where something untoward has happened. Okay. Whether there was intelligence failure or anything, only now the DGP, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has asked a report from the DGP. As Ramesh sir also said, where preventive arrests made, that also we will come to know. Let the DGP give his report. Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani, everything will be set aside. Now I am not talking politically, I am talking generally. See, when any procession is there, we cannot put 144 section. My friend from BJP was telling why was 144 section not put. How can we put 144 section when there is an Eid Milad procession going on? Just 1 week before that, Ganapati procession also took place. We need to be fair. Now coming back to which photos who should put. Whether they put Tipu Sultan's photo or any photo, it is for that community to choose. If it is Ganesh festival, someone will choose Shivaji, someone will choose any other photo. It is a prerogative of that particular community and we don't have a say on it. If it was provocative, what was provocative in it is very important. I saw that poster myself. Tipu Sultan was put. 1 second. Tipu Sultan was there. Aurangzeb was there. Both were kings of the same nation. Now if Shivaji's photo was there, Shivaji also attacked our so many Karnataka kings. You all know what happened in Sringeri, the Marathas. So we should not be, it's my politics nahi lane ka. Okay, we have to be very clear on what happened. What I am saying when law takes its own course is this government will not
Mr.
be
Satya
biased.
Prakash, you've spoken enough. I've given you enough time. You are just being very defensive. I am so sorry. You are saying it could be preventive detention happened or not happened. The law will take DGP report. The thing is, you were not as your government, sir, which talks about Mohabbat ki Dukaan. The Supreme Leader Rahul Gandhi talks about Mohabbat ki Dukaan, which is very good. We all need love in our lives. Who doesn't want love?
Absolutely.
Everyone needs love. But the point is that Siddaramaiah has failed because this was a kind of a test. Don't know why. What is wrong with failure? There is nothing. You are not infallible. No, come on.
Just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When 30
No, you have
300
taken enough
processions
time,
are
sir.
happened,
Mr. Rao,
and in
you
none
were
of the
raising your
processions-
hand. Then I'll go to my friend Ramesh. Go on.
Sudhaji,
There were more than 300 processions
my friend,
happening.
Sudhaji, my friend Mr. Satya Prakash, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute, kindly. I won't take more time, kindly. Sudhaji, my friend Mr. Satya Prakash was mentioning, don't spread lies on national media. I plead to him, sir, please don't show your ignorance before the national media also, sir. You please see if you do not have the visuals, I will send it in a CD or a pen drive safely to your office. Kindly see where the SP, Mr. Mithun, if you know his name, of the Shivamogga district have been heckled by the protesters. So please don't show your ignorance. I plead, sir. I feel sorry for you, sir. Point 1. Point 2. Point 2, please. I didn't interfere, sir. I didn't interfere, sir. I didn't interfere, sir. Kindly let me please talk. Let me please talk, sir. Let me please talk. Sir, let me talk, sir. Please.
Come on, both of you. Let's talk. I'm going to open my Mohabbat ki Dukaan now. Don't fight.
1 minute. How 141 minute, please. Let me put my point, Sudhaji. He was telling, how can we put 144 when there is a possession? How can you put 144 section for Kaveri protesters, Mr. Satya Prakash? I really don't understand. I mean, is this your understanding of law? I really do not understand. Don't interfere, sir. Kindly, sir. Sir, don't interfere. Let's have some courtesy in speaking, sir. I did not interfere you, sir. Please. And let me remind Mr. Satya Prakash and all the viewers, and also Mr. Sudhaji. Sudhaji was mentioning that, sir, please, sir.
But during a procession, can you put 144 section?
You please talk, sir. You are the government. You want to show your
No,
arrogance
fine.
before the
No,
media.
no,
Fair
I'll
enough.
decide. I'm the anchor of the show, and let me decide.
Sudhaji,
Your nafrat
Sudhaji,
ka bazaar is now started.
Sudhaji,
This is not like the other show. Sorry,
I have not
you are
made my point.
mistaking me for that other anchor. I'm a woman and I don't fight. Yeah.
I have not made my
Yeah,
point.
go on,
The point
Mr.
is,
Rao. Go on.
The point is, Sudhaji, you are mentioning that it must have been a failure and not perhaps the appeasement politics.
All right.
I would request you to ask a question to our Congress spokesperson. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar now has come out in the open and told that I have written a letter to take back all the cases in the Hubli protesters case. 158 individuals, 12 FIRs, 4,000 paid charge sheet. So what do you call? Is it a failure or an appeasement politics? I want to know from you so that you can ask the question to the Congress spokesperson. Point one. Point two. Let us try to understand this government, why we are very cynical about this government is, this is the very same government who let out 1,600 KFI PFD activists in 2015 against the wishes of the police. You please ask Mr. S.K. Ramesh. They told, please don't let them out. There will be a ruckus.
No, it's I'm not allowed. No. I want to focus on this. Ramesh Sethuraman, I'm coming to you. Someone cut. I don't want it to become a war between two communities. No, I will not. The South Indian will not allow it. The South Indian will not allow it. I'm just, ladies and gentlemen, talking about whether this is the first failure. I'm not saying major, huge failure, but a kind of blot on Siddaramaiah's government, because like I said, Mohabbat ki dukaan, where he said sectarian violence, communal strife, which had become, according to them, allegedly part of the BJP dispensation, should be done away with. Ramesh Sethuraman on the screen right now. Let me talk to him. Ramesh, I'm coming back to that question. So, no preventive detention so far, allegedly, that we know of. Also knowing full well that it is an area where sensitivities, it's very sensitive, no special, ultimately it's an administrative failure, right? It's not so much an administrative failure. Governance is the duty of the ruling dispensation. You can't say that it is not my duty. Oh, it happens. 10,000 processions happened, one vendor. It's not like one rotten apple. That's what I'm coming back to it. It involves not only your philosophy, it was part of your manifesto about how peace will be restored. All these things will be taken back. Do you still think, and I'm asking you, and I would like a focused answer, is that, Ramesh, do you think that this could be the first Siddaramaiah, first blot, as it were, in not being able to contain this kind of disturbance? Thank God there have been no casualties. Thank God.
Absolutely. You are spot on. But only view that I have is now they and their alliance, INDI alliance, they want to face the election. My only concern is that, see, it's a concern, right? Again, whether we are going to allege about BJP or we are going to talk about Congress. So the concern is this polarization. Are they going to keep it this way, or they are going to ensure that everything is back to normalcy in few days, so that, and the statewide, if you look at it, there will be peace till the parliamentary elections are over. So that's what the question is, because we have seen it whenever last 6 to 8 months before election, these kind of issues also erupt. So, but keeping peace maintained, that is a law and order issue which is under the control of state government, and presently Congress is the ruling party and head of the state is none but Mr. Siddaramaiah. So it is extremely important that they need to instill the confidence among the people of Karnataka that, okay, these kind of things will not happen in the coming days. Otherwise, today it is Shivamogga, tomorrow it could be something else, and then this thing will keep on continuing, and it is going to ruin the prosperity of the state like
Right,
Karnataka,
the fabric, as it were. Because let's not forget, and it's not about stereotyping, during the elections, a lot of you who had joined me here on the debate, everyone had said that certain districts, Dakshina Karnataka particularly, is a place which is highly sensitive. Do we have Mr. S.T. Ramesh with us? There was some problem with his connection.
No. Hello?
Mr. Ramesh, yeah, thank God you're here with us. Mr. Ramesh, I wanted to, end the show with something that, I wanted to ask you is that, politics will come and politicians will go, and these kind of, areas which are sensitive, etc. I'm just asking you that don't you think that somewhere the police and the local administration is also, kind of under the ruling dispensation? Let's not name governments, but in a way the buck stops with how the government governs ultimately and does what it has to do to avoid such incidents, Mr. Ramesh.
Yeah, I was patiently listening to the hot exchange between the political leaders who are in the panel.
Yes, sir.
All I want to say is this. Yes, as you said, the buck stops with the government in the Dansauda, because how they ensure that law and order is maintained is something they have to look into and ensure that law and order is maintained at any cost. Point number one. I have just 2 points to say. Number two, it is a great pity and a matter of regret that political parties view everything through the prism of elections and votes, not from the point of view of maintaining peace, tranquility, and ensuring a peaceful life for the citizens of Karnataka. It is something I regret very much, because all the discussions veer around elections, politics, and votes. Point number three is, as this riot was going on, in the neighboring Shiral Koppa in Shikaripur Taluk, members of the Muslim community joined a Ganesha procession and showed a great example of communal harmony. I wish the people of Shivamogga, of either community, also show the same maturity and demonstrate that they are capable of communal harmony, at least in future. This is the note on which I would like to conclude. Thank you.
What a beautiful note to end it on, Mr. Ramesh. But then the point is that, it is very ideal what you say. That's what we would all want. But politics is a different animal, different beast altogether. And I'm still saying, I'm sticking my neck out. I think it's time that Siddaramaiah and his government start, upping the shutter of the Mohabbat Ki Dukaan. Karnataka needs it very badly. Let me thank all my guests, Mr. Satyaprakash, Mr. Rao, thank you very much. Ramesh, such a pleasure. Mr. S.T. Ramesh, it was indeed a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much.